pretty.
Yeah. That defies logic. He looks like he should be at the sevens. So Maggie Jackson is here as the English coach for these Commonwealth Games. She's doing a great job, but Sue Hawkins is such an inspiration to this side, and I'm sure that they'll be missing her.
Yeah, and tough on her, you know, leading into this campaign. You'd say it was 18 months. The amount of work she's done with this side, the way they are playing is credit to her, and I'm sure the messages are going through to Maggie Jackson from her, and that is another incentive for this English side to do the bizzo for Coach Sue Hawkins.
The fans are firing up here at Tiagaraj Stadium because it is semi-final time, and the first match on the card is between the world champions Australia and the world number 3 England. And the Australian lineup, you'd say a top 7, McMahon and Medhurst, then Green, Von Berto and Hallinan through the midcourt. Monia Gerard combining in the circle defensively with Laura Geitz, perhaps the only surprise in Norma Plummer's selection.
Yeah, certainly. Susan Furman, I thought, may get the nod, but look for her maybe to make an impact.
Certainly plenty of ammunition on that England bench, all right. And the starting 7 for England, Mentor and McCloma. A brilliant defensive pairing. Clark, Bayman and Greenway through the midcourt, and then Pamela Cookie, the veteran, combining with 21-year-old goal shoot Jo Harton. A young woman with so much on her shoulders today, Tanya.
Oh, and this is you know, she's going to interest me in how she performs up against the world champions. Big game for her, and I can feel the nerves out on the court right here, right now, not only from this English side, but the Australian Diamonds.
And Pamela Cookie, yep, 26 years old. She's got a lot of netball under her belt. We've seen her in New Zealand in the ANZ Championships, playing for the Northern Mystics. And she'll face off against Monia Gerard. That is no mean feat, Tanya. You've played against Gerard.
You feel like you've got someone riding you on your back the whole time, and look for her to do that, because Cookie is the playmaker for England. You know, she's shooting well, 85%, so she's putting the shots up, but the way she splits that circle, she cuts it, and she is the experienced one, teaming up with Jo Harton.
Here we go, semi-final time at Tiagaraj Stadium. The world champions Australia up against the world number 3 England. Australia get the ball rolling, early penalty, and they work the angles. McMahon, easy shooting position. Simple.
And that's exactly what both these sides will want to start like. Do the simple things well, stay in the present.
Let's see what England can do with their first touch of the ball. Harton's out of the circle, a dangerous pass.
And Gerard sticking tight on Cookie.
Australian defence have done their homework. The English shooters have tried to screen again and again through this tournament. One apiece. Von Berto and Green, nice and tight on the circle edge. And this time, Medhurst pops, and the first turnover of the game goes the way of England.
And Hands just letting her down.
Greenway in the pocket. They work 45s, England.
And Cookie using the base, Harton being the one rolling the circle.
Encounter number 1.
First of many, I'm sure.
No pun intended, but she is a tough cookie. So England firing early on. Bayman. Contact called against Jo Harton, so Laura Geitz putting the pressure on. Gerard now for Australia. McMahon out of the circle. This terrifically mobile shooting circle for Australia. They reset. And the English defenders doing a sterling job.
Diamonds happy to play it around, use the transverse, settle themselves in.
Bayman too close, so 2 players beside her. It should be a simple feed in for Von Berto, and it is.
And again, those invisible threads between McMahon and Medhurst. Timing spot on.
Green on the goal attack side, and wonderful straight lines. The fluidity, Tan.
You can see here, England, they're forcing them wide, so they have to look over the circle, those big cross courts.
And that's a management which has done its homework.
And we know Mentor and McCloma, you know, they're both tall timbers. McCloma's got one of the longest set of arms I've ever seen. And forcing the turnover.
Harton out of the circle. Offside the call though. A bit of a let-off for the English. Safe as houses, Joe Harton. Good hands, Pamela Cookie. You love a goal attack who works so hard defensively.
It's just crucial, you know, for the defenders to come up with the ball, that the hard yards is done all the way from the attacking end.
Easy penalty for Sherelle McMahon. The Australian veteran, 33 years old, and this is her 114th Test cap. What a legend. Cookie and Harton exchange. Someone needs to get into the circle, and it's Cookie who does along the baseline. Contact on the ball, signalled by the umpire Mandy Nottingham.
And Geitz won't like that. You never want to give away the old free shot.
Evasive as ever, Sherelle McMahon. And in the first 5 minutes of this match, you have to say that Jiva Mentor has dominated McMahon. I'd expect the Aussie veteran to settle in to her work pretty quickly. Helen in a free gift, so the Australians are away again.
And Gerard there on the charge. Such an effective attacker.
Green, good ball speed.
And Mentor, you know, she's had 19 intercepts, 31 deflections throughout this Commonwealth Games.
Pretty impressive numbers, aren't they?
In saying that, the Australian Diamonds shoot 90% shooting average, so and better ball speed there from Australia. They didn't go on that first second from the centre pass.
The big step in, McNard. She was always going to offload, and good work, Sonia McCloma.
Who, me?
Yeah, she's big in the umpire. Great defence of the shot, but Medhurst is up for it. Six to 5 the score, 8.5 minutes remaining until quarter time. Jo Harton adds another for England, under pressure.
Looked like she didn't want to put that up, but be happy.
Ah, beautiful. Absolute poetry in motion, Australia.
And when they go at that speed, it's just the English players, you know, it takes so much longer for them to set up.
Couple of high-risk passes from England as they zigzag their way into the goal third. Simple pop, Joe Harden.
Macloma and Clark squeezing in the Australian attackers.
And a hand to it, Jiva Mentor. Stepping. No doubt about it.
And those are the ones that England have got to score from.
It's 2 in a row for Jiva Mentor, so strong work from the English goalkeeper. Great athleticism. So England still going, and a magical pass. Greenway to Cookie, who finishes. Super stuff. Centre pass as well, England. So they have a sniff and they squander.
Just a stray pass there from Greenway. And interesting for this Australian side, 5 of these players out here, first time Commonwealth Games. McMahon and Von Buto. 2 most experienced players.
And speaking to Sherelle McMahon last night, Tanya, it was so interesting, her reflection on, winning silver, or as she kind of put it, losing silver. And she said, although this tournament, won't be redemption or revenge or whatever, they're reasonably determined to take gold home with them, which is pretty ominous. They need to pick things up a bit to do so, though, because at the moment it's 8 apiece.
And Macloma just conceding there. They've got to attack everything. Wear the Australians down.
Five and a half minutes to run until quarter time here at Tiagaraj Stadium. 9-8 the score. The world champion Australians just in front of world number 3 England. Sarah Bayman looks for Harton. Finds her. Nine each now. And when the English defence plug the head of the circle, they cause all sorts of strife for the Australians until they do that.
Yeah, and precision timing there from Medhurst.
All defence come with that. All defence beside. Yep.
And when they're on song like that, just so hard to break.
Individual brilliance from Monia Gerard. Umberto in the pocket.
Contact, centre England.
And a great front cut from Natalie Medhurst.
Medhurst, she's been going at 98% throughout this Commonwealth Games. A player that has really made a mark for herself. And this combination with McMahon.
Macloma penalised, and it'll be easy for Nat Medhurst. And there's the turnover, Gerard coming through so strongly.
Again, England setting up for that big swing and then covering the next one.
And the Australian defenders getting pinged plenty by the New Zealand umpire, Mandy Nottingham. But it's all fair enough because they need to back off from their, hang off their player so that the away hand, so that they're not hugging their players on the way through. It's deemed as obstruction. Hallinan now.
Medhurst coming high.
Take a bow, Jiva Mentor. England. At 11-9, this is crucial for them. Just under 3 minutes left until quarter time. And they know that they need to stay in touch with the world champions. Greenway. Nothing on, high risk, but Cookie comes up with it. Superb timing.
Makes it look so easy. McClymont doing a lot of work on attack.
It's been a real feature of the English style of play, though, the resetting on the transverse line. Nothing wrong with being patient. Bayman. And Harton, who spent a lot of time out of the circle.
Again, Geitz penalised. And then Harton's shooting the way she is. Both sides going at 100%.
Bunch obstructing centre. Bunch contact and offside.
Now it's the turn of the English defence to cause strife for the Australians. McMahon, though, works her way around and gathers the front space and scores.
Just so cool, so calm under pressure.
She's so evasive too, just amazing. The speed off the mark. Bayman now to Cookie. And Laura Geitz really does need to back off Jo Harton. I guess if you're Norma Plummer though, well, you've got Susan Furman sitting there.
Yeah, and I guess that was marginal. Who was going to get the start today?
Bunch obstructing, bunch contact.
Footwork the call this time. Sherelle McMahon. So England away again through Clark. And Bayman again, she heaves it across.
Oh, that change of pace from Cookie. Geitz is onto it.
Well, a pretty rare miss for Jo Harton, and the result's an Australian throw-in.
Bunch obstructing centre.
Oh, McClymont on the hunt.
She could have had it. And that'll be the last act of the first quarter of the first semi-final here at the Delhi Commonwealth Games at Thiagaraj Stadium. And it's about as tight as it can get. 12 apiece. Tanya Dalton, what a display.
Look, England came out. I thought they looked focused, they're determined, and yeah, there's certainly a strong start, like we saw in the Silver Ferns match.
As we head to the quarter time break, 12 each. We're in for a humdinger, folks. We'll see you soon at Thiagaraj Stadium. You really couldn't get much closer. 12 each, world champions Australia up against the world number 3 England. And former Fern Tanya Dalton. It's brilliant.
Oh, this is gonna be a doozy. And that first quarter pretty much says it all.
Second spell underway, 12 each. And the expectation that the world champions will come out and try to assert their dominance. We saw England against New Zealand hold their own. In fact, they led at three-quarter time. And earlier this year in February, this English side beat the Australians by just the one goal, but a win's a win. Laura Geitz, a hand to it. Clever and skillful defence.
Yeah, well, that first quarter, Geitz heavily penalised.
2 backs and a catch. So replay ball, and I think Pamela Cookie knew that. She was probably a bit cheeky to give it a go, to be honest.
Yeah, and Cookie can certainly do some damage on D.
Well, we said she was a tough cookie. We also know she's a smart cookie. Green now, Man. One of the quickest players in world netball.
And McMahon and Medhurst both out of the circle. Certainly doesn't take them long to get back in.
Beautiful peel, Von Berto lands it on the circle edge. Didn't wait for three though. It was on in the circle.
And the defensive setups of this English side, they're making Australia have to play wide, doing the big hurls over the circle.
And they've implemented the turnover. McCloma now. Greenway up high. They face a sea of gold. Better stuff.
A nice little touch there from Cookie. Going low. Mixing it up.
Green, stunning drive to the hot spot. Another turnover, so a bit of a fidgety start from the Australians to the second spell. Norma Plummer here. No wonder she's not looking too happy.
Bunch obstructing.
Bayman looks behind her. Almost runs out of time though. Crikey.
Yeah, reverse bounce.
Contact goalkeeper. Soccer pass. Leon. Obstructing.
Again, Harton. Impressive so far.
The English running at 88% for their shooting stats. The Australians, Tanya, at 100. Perfect so far. A log jam at the head of the circle. And it's Pamela Cookie who'll need to disperse.
Contact goalkeeper.
And Geitz again coming around with that away hand.
All for it though.
And I guess, you know, every time she's penalised, the way these English shooters are putting them through the hoop, it's only going to give them more confidence.
It's marched right under the post, so an easy one for Jo Harton. And all of a sudden, the English stretch it out, 15 to 12, 11 and a half minutes till half time.
Green on the charge, but
Jade Clark stabbed it.
I think the difference is at the moment, the English side, you know, they're not throwing 50-50 ball. They're making sure it gets to their target, and when they turn it over, in turn, Cookie and Harden are putting it through the hoop.
Von Berto flies through the air, but she'll get called. That was the chance for England to make the deficit 5, and that's a bit of a magic number, especially when you're in the second quarter. And I do have to say, Tanya, in pool play against New Zealand, England's only loss, it was at crucial junctions like that that the 21-year-old Harton didn't deliver.
And I know she'll be aware of that. It's interesting how you know, a shooter can come back from a couple of losses, so...
Lessons, not losses.
Yes. And I think her face says it all. That determination from both their sides.
The Aussies creep back in because they had the centre pass as well.
And the switch from Mentor and McCloma.
It's quite brilliant. Long levers of McCloma. Back to within 2. This Australian team, one of the most rapid scorers. When they get on a run, they can score so quickly. Gerard's penalised. Jade Clark will set the penalty.
Pushing. Back. Just back.
And a good easy passage of play for the English. forced back again. The penalty, though, against Jade Clark. Medhurst just decides to dispense with formalities and go again herself. Clomer on the charge. She's on 1 foot too. Harton comes out of the circle, and Geit's probably lucky not to be pinged.
And when Harton comes out, she's coming out quite flat, so probably needs to come in the direction of the ball. Otherwise, players like Geitz can snaffle those balls.
Second. Stepping in. Yep.
And Harton, yeah.
Yep.
3 misses in a row, 2 there. The Australian defenders just wearing the attackers down.
And you very rarely see Natalie Von Berto throwing out the back door. Clark charging through court. She squares to Cookie, who squares to McCloma.
Oh, lovely little feed from Bayman, just in the pocket.
And one of the signatures of Pam Cookie's game, we saw her combining with Temepara George for the Mystics, and her baseline play was just simply stunning sometimes.
Yeah, and that change of pace, I guess, you know, you compare it to the Aussie shooters down here, that just sudden stop or that mixing it up, and then we just saw a nice little hold, so.
Medhurst adds another for Australia. And time called. Monia Gerard just requiring some attention.
An interesting time. Must be legit. You know, the Australian defenders just starting to make an impact there in the shooting circle for England. Jo Harden missed a few goals.
Maggie Jackson, the England coach, here in place of Sue Hawkins. She's got plenty to say.
Yeah, a lot of chatter. The old
Gerard,
tape.
yeah, the old tape. No flash stuff for Gerard. He's one of the real senior players in this Australian outfit. So 46th Test cap today. She's 29 years old. And one of the superstars of world netball.
First Commonwealth Games. Gerard.
I'm pretty fired up about it too. We've caught up with Gerard throughout this tournament, and gee, she means business, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Gerard's restored. We're back underway. 7 minutes to run until half-time.
And, you know, when an injury break happens like that, it's how does a team start back from it?
18-16 the score. England in possession.
Cookie trying to set up the screen there. Again, Harton. And England, they're coming up with the turnovers.
I'm just watching Jo Harton off screen. You know, she's giving herself a bit of a thigh slap, Tanya. What happens when a shooter has a few minutes off song?
Well, you've got to be so careful. You can end up running away and hiding and not making yourself available. So you've got to stay in the moment. It's one goal at a time. You can't change what's happened.
And do you give yourself a good talking to?
She gave the slap. Everyone's got their own little way of showing it, but you see there the hesitation on her face.
Right, and the offload, which is so risky against a player like Laura Geitz. Hand to it, but she's penalised.
And the goal for any defender. Get inside the shooter's head.
Breaking the call. And McMahon well out of the circle. She uses Green, and that's a splendid pass. Excellent control, Nat Medhurst. Greenway and Hallinan entwined. Hallinan called, no surprise. And England away again. It was on to Cookie.
Oh, and the space opened there for Cookie, but Bayman, it's just that confidence of waiting till the 3rd second.
Strong work, England. They lead 20-17, just under 5 minutes left until half-time. This is the first semi-final at Tiagara Stadium between the world champions, the Australian Diamonds, and the world number 3, England. Jiva Mentor nearly forces another. And watch for the offload. No, McMahon's up for it. Hutton rights herself eventually. And there's that lovely use of the baseline from Pam Cookie.
Sensational footwork. Just took Gerard one way, opened up nicely. But same thing down the other end.
Oh, genius.
Probably the best option to go under Macloma with arms like that.
Here's the patience we've seen from England all tournament.
Oh, Gerard, a menace.
And just the angle all wrong. McMahon tries to get something going. She looks for the screen. Instead, they rotate the circle.
Oh, McMahon Clark.
Bargy. Yeah, good hand to it, Monia Gerard.
Oh, Tamsin, Greenway.
England swing it. The importance of keeping the angle short against Australia. Doing a fine job the mid-quarters. Always trying to stay half a circle apart.
If you get too wide, then it just makes it so much easier for the defenders to come through with the ball.
So England get one back and the centre pass. Bayman sees Cookie, fires it. England shooters creating lovely spaces, but Jo Harton, she was shooting so well in the first spell. Now having some real troubles getting the ball through the hoop.
And for the defenders, you know, they work so hard to turn it over.
Man hams it up a little. And just about held ball.
Oh.
Instead she misses.
An uncharacteristic miss.
What a free gift, England. Norma Plummer no doubt will have plenty to say at half time. He wouldn't want to be wearing a gold dress.
Better split there, Harton using the base. Cookie popping top.
Words of encouragement from the veteran Catherine Cox.
81 test caps. Cox, so Plummer's got a lot of experience on that sideline.
Pressure from Macloma, but she's penalised for contact. She's just sure and steady, Sherelle McMahon, isn't she?
Big pass there from Greenway. Dietz probably needs to start having a go at those big ones.
Well, certainly she's getting penalised, so she might as well have a go.
You know, that's probably the reason why she's on the court. She's a lot more mobile than the likes of Susan Furman. She's had a good tournament.
Well, that'll bring to a close the first half of this first semi-final at Tiagaraj Stadium. And it's an absolute beauty. England fans are happy, that's for sure. He'll be waving his flag vigorously. This woman here, though, Norma Plummer, not so happy because her side trails by 2 goals. England ahead 23-21. Tanya, what a boomer.
And to think England, they're going at 79% shooting average. So, you know, Jo Harten, she's missed about 5 shots. To think where they could be. And I guess that just shows the amount of ball England are turning over. And I think they've done their homework in terms of, you know, shutting down that Medhurst-McMahon combination in that circle.
So I guess the big question is, can they sustain that?
Well, you know, England going into this game was, the key is 60 minutes, 15 minutes at a time, 5-minute chunks. Looking at these shooting statistics, you know, first of all, the shooting, 91-79. So big one there. In terms of deflections, much the same. Intercepts, England 4 to Aussie 2. So, you know, defensively, and it's not just McClover and Mentor coming up with the ball, it's the whole team effort. They're putting in everything and they're rattling the Australians.
Pretty even on the penalties front as well. You see a few eyes rolling from the Australian girls, but more or less even Stevens, really, 43-40 there. So the umpires at least consistent.
Yeah,
and I guess that means that now the Australian players are just going to have to adapt and sort their attitude out, for want of a better term.
Yeah, exactly. You can't give away penalties. It's about adjusting to your umpires. We've seen Kiwi Mandy Nottingham, the umpire, down one end. She's quite tough on the 3 feet, and that's where you, as a defender, you take 4 and you get in her head that you've got a good distance.
Well, it's been a magnificent first half in this first semi-final. And as we head to the break, well, Aussie fans will be contemplating because their team trails. It's the world number 3, England, leading the world champions Australia 23-21. We're gearing up for the start of the third quarter in the first semi-final of the netball at these Delhi Commonwealth Games. And at Tiagaraj Stadium, it's a turn up for the books so far because the world number 3, England, is leading Australia, the world champions, 23-21. Former Silver Fern Tanya Dalton. That means over the next half hour, sparks are going to fly.
Oh, it is game on. I think we're going to go to the next level today. I think the interesting stat, Australia, they've made 9 errors out there, England only 3. So it just shows England are just being so much more patient, more controlled. They're doing the basics well. And I guess the only little thing that, you know, those few missed shots by Jo Harten that let them down. But, you know, it's that full court attacking, defending. They certainly come to party today.
But that's a good perspective as well. England running at 79% shooting wise, Australia at 91, which, you know, shows just how strong this England performance has been. They could be even further ahead.
Yeah, they could be. And, you know, you're looking at both these teams, they're in the zone, but England, you can see that defensive pressure right from, you know, the back line all the way to the other end. The likes of Clark, McClomer, that constant backup, they're always there on the transverse, they're mixing it up. They're not throwing those 50-50 balls in, which I guess Australia, that's what's let them down.
England a rousing reception as they re-enter centre court for the second half of this decisive semi-final.
And you look there, Pamela Cookie, I think she has taken charge of this game in that first half. You know, she shot 10 from 10, but it's not just her shooting, it's the way she's moving that circle and giving her attackers confidence to let the ball go.
Well, a big change. Louisa Brownfield, you'll see, is under the net practicing her shots. So the 21-year-old Jo Harten will sit out the third quarter. We may see her reintroduced for the fourth spell.
Yeah,
but Maggie Jackson, a pretty gutsy move.
Well, Brownfield, she's an experienced player, 26 years old. She's been going at 89% in this Commonwealth Games campaign. So she's no Gumby, and I guess for coach, this is probably the one area that she may have had to look at changing.
Now, after England pushed New Zealand in pool play, the Australian coach Norma Plummer said that she felt New Zealand hadn't actually won the game, more that England had lost it. Do you think she'll still be feeling that way?
She'll be hoping not. For England, you know, in the back of their mind, they know for 45 minutes they matched the Silver Ferns and they let themselves down in that last quarter. So they'll be saying to themselves, we're not going to do that again. But still, 30 minutes is still a long time in netball.
Especially against perhaps the fastest scoring team in world netball in the Aussie Diamonds. Sonia Macloma, the England co-captain. Karen Atkinson, the England captain. Hasn't had that much court time. Tamsin Greenway playing in her position of wing attack and doing a fine job. Aussies will be fired up.
No changes for Australia.
Tense times at Tiagaraj Stadium. The third quarter's underway. England leading the world champions by 2 goals, 23-21. Australia will want to remedy this, and in the quarter the Aussies call the championship quarter. What can they pull out of their bag of tricks? McMahon swings it. Sarah Bayman all over Kim Green.
And again, the big swing being forced.
There's a few theatrics from Sarah McMahon, but good on her. There's one back.
But, you know, a drop ball there from Greenway, but the backup, the crumbs. Mental quick to it.
Quite sublime.
Cookie,
Cookie
yeah.
got great skills. A goal saver.
And a nice shot to bring Brownfield into this match.
Great space, Kim Green. That's exactly where you want to feed from. What an amazing athlete, Sherelle McMahon.
Yeah, marginal pass there from Greenway to Bayman.
Finds herself in an Aussie semi. Brownfield now.
She'll be happy with that. I guess for Maggie Jackson, that's what she needs her to do.
And again, the wide pass forced. Great pressure on the shot. Gee, the mentor. She's hard to rattle, is McMahon.
And Geitz not having a good day in the office down that end.
But we saw the penalty numbers, Tanya, and it's just a matter of, as a defender, having to get your head around adjusting. Turnover time, England. And if you are getting penalised for the same thing, and Mandy Nottingham is calling her for arms around, change your game. Cookie, brilliant.
She's solid under the post, Cookie.
And the England pass. They've led by 4 once already in this match. Will they again? Bayman uses Cookie.
You heard the talk in the halftime break. McCloma just, so we want this. This is what we work for. And it's one goal at a time, staying in the present.
England bench going nuts. And you just wonder when the Australians are going to put the foot down.
Go, defense your arm. Yes, holding.
And McCloma penalised. Interesting talking to the umpires throughout the course of this tournament. And they said that Sonia McCloma is one of the really tough athletes to umpire because of her natural stance. As a defender, you often get called for sitting on a player, and that's really her natural stance. So the umpires said that sometimes it's a fine line. Brilliant, Laura Geitz. Runs out of court, though.
Unlucky for her. And I think that's what we haven't seen her much doing, you know, coming out, hunting for that ball. So easy as a defender to get tied up with your player in circle.
There's those tight angles again from England, and Helen and a hand to it. Implements the turnover, quite brilliant.
And you just saw that hesitation from Greenway.
And an easy transition through court, Australia.
Contact center.
And they're sitting tight on McMahon and Medhurst.
Until the stand. Yes.
There the M's. Hallinan.
Good front cut from Berto, and just stunning court play from Natalie Medhurst. Nine and a half minutes left in this third quarter.
Again, Geitz trying to spoil.
There's just one in it, 28 to 27. We've seen Renee Hallinan be really dominant as a wing defence throughout this Commonwealth Games tournament. And you'd have to say that Greenway's holding her own. Rebound snaffled Australia, turnover.
And Geitz with a little bit of a blow to the mush. But Hallinan, you know, such an athletic player.
And one of the taller wing defenders you'll see as well. She's 1.78 metres, so hitting the 180 mark. The Aussies forced to swing it again.
And there's that split that we know them for.
It's trademark now, isn't it? Even Stevens, 28 apiece. 8.5 minutes left until three-quarter time.
Offside, wing attack, free pass, Australia.
McCloma, that constant talk.
Obstructing wing. Guns obstructing center.
She sort of almost looks like she goes in slow motion, McCloma, but
Contact. Goal, free pass.
Plenty to think about for Norma Plummer, all right. Bonus ball now for England.
Hallinan forcing Greenway all the way up high to the transverse, sitting on her.
It's one of the nice things about Greenway's positional play as a wing attack, though. She's not afraid to come high, and so when her team's in strife coming through the middle third, she often offers up an option. That nice narrow channel again for England. Australia just having a go at everything.
And you can see the mobility in the English circle. Brownfridge probably doesn't mix it up as much as what Joe Harton was. It's more of a holding shooter.
England buy back a little breathing space.
Well, Mentor says, hey, that's mine.
Yes, Fun's obstructing.
Chris Campbell says, no, it's not. So Medhurst now in shooting position and finishes.
A nice little drive to the pocket from Greenway.
Lucky not to
Not
be
to-
called
yeah.
for replay ball. Almost juggles at this Brownfield. Greenway now circle edge. Amazing pressure on the shot. Laura Geitz, she can't do anything right.
Contact. Goalkeeper, shut the pass.
Both defenders going out, doing everything they possibly can. Looks quite happy on the bench, Harding.
Free gift. Greenway will be so disappointed. 5.5 minutes until three-quarter time, just 1 minute.
Obstructing.
This is a chance for the Aussies to draw even. And McMahon does just that. Gee, she's wearing the race face of Sherelle McMahon.
Contact, mid-attack, counter-pass, Australia.
Hallinan on the transverse line. What will the Aussies do?
And they're pushing them up, forcing them out.
And forcing the big swing.
There's a lot of bouncing off each other. Oh, nice little cut to the top by Green. Just makes it so much easier to feed.
Yep.
Eliminates the angle.
And a clever step to the side, McMahon, so that she can't come under scrutiny from the England defenders. Australia hit the front.
And look for Cookie to be the playmaker here. Gerard out. It just takes that ball with such assertion.
Well, she was almost rearing Laura Geitz. Green is high. The England defenders just working so tirelessly.
Oh, McCloma thought she may have it, held ball, but not.
And McMahon very rarely misses two on the trot. Danger time for the English.
And Gerard says, thank you very much.
And with just under 3.5 minutes until three-quarter time, you can't help but wonder, here we go, green and gold.
Fun's offside there.
Clever McMahon.
Oh, sweet swoosh.
Australia pull out to 2.
Finest contact finish.
Good hold, Von Berto on the circle edge, but they have to go back to the transverse line.
And Green looks like collects Clark along the way. Happy to play it around.
Goalkeeper. Yep.
The speed of that woman. And a good offload. That takes the Australians out to 3. And surprise, surprise, time called by England. She's a
Yes.
wily bird, as Sonia McCloma.
Just when you could feel that momentum swing. And I think for the attacking end of this English side, just struggling with that flow. Injection of Brownfield.
So plenty to say in both camps. It's a close thing, 35-32. But it's been a 5-goal turnaround in this quarter so far from the world champions. They trailed by 2 at halftime, now they lead by 3.
Yeah, and for the Australians, I think you just saw that patience start coming in. There was no 50-50 ball, which I think was probably what let them down in that first half. Happy to play it around. The Medhurst-McMahon combination, the way they're opening up that circle, they're using the transverse, and Von Berto and Green are the two that are getting some lovely drives to the circle edge.
Well, who'd have thought? Both England co-captains, Karen Atkinson and now Sonia Makloma, on the bench. And that brings to the courts 22-year-old Stacey Francis wearing the goal defence bib for England. We've hardly seen her on court all tournament.
Big call.
Circle edge, Greenway. I think Laura Geitz was always going to get called. Now, a free shot for Cookie.
The Cookie, who hasn't missed all day, there's a little smile.
Under no scrutiny at all. New player on the court, 22-year-old Stacey Francis. Wearing the goal defence bib for England. Let's see what she can do.
Yep, fresh leg. She's already. Oh.
It's like a jacket box. She's come on fully firing, has Francis.
Oh, look at that. Turnover.
Perfect start. Brownfield's out of the circle. That's the first time we've seen it. Not bad.
And that's what I think she needs to do. Open it up. You know how effective Cookie is in that circle with her change of pace. Welcome.
Very dramatic.
Oh, Geitz.
Bit of a horribly placed pass.
Yeah.
And here we go, Australia. Look at that channel of England defenders. Tense stuff. That brings to a close the quarter they do call the championship quarter in Australia. And it's been one that they've dominated, but only just. The world champions just a nose in front, 35-34. Get set, folks. This is going to be one heck of a final 15 here at the Commonwealth Games in Delhi. Sudden death semi-final netball at Tiagaraj Stadium. England fired up against the world champions Australia. It's been a match which has been really evenly shared. 12 each at quarter time. England led 23-21 at half time. And going into the final 15, it's the world champions a whisker ahead, 35-34. Electrifying netball and the final 15's underway.
And Nurse, Lauren Nurse for the Diamonds, comes on at wing attack.
And the reintroduction we expected, 21-year-old English goal shoot Joe Harton back on the court. After what you call a prospective quarter, sitting on the bench. The third spell.
15 minutes. Do or die, this is it.
And Sonia Makloma back on court as well at goalkeep. You have to wonder why you take Jiva Mentor off the court.
Contact, advantage offside. Contact, advantage
I
offside.
think Jiva Mentor might be wondering why she's been taken off the court as well.
Oh, Harton, I thought that may have been a short pass. But no.
So a chance for Cookie, she takes it.
Oh, 2 down.
A tangle of limbs. And you just wonder about the danger of this defensive combination. I'm really gobsmacked that Jiva Mentor's on the bench.
I thought she's been outstanding today.
Obstructing in defense.
And she certainly stemmed the flow of ball into that Aussie shooting circle. Never mind. Here we go, Bayman.
Oh, Hallinan, destructive.
Gerard and Hallinan bring the ball through court.
And Nurse sitting on the top of the circle.
I think Sonia McCloma thought the call might have gone the other way. But no, Medhurst will step in. Magnificent.
Yeah, and she has been on fire.
And there's the turnover. Pure athletic ability. Nurse now. And the Australians out to 4. Harton in the hot spot.
And holding her own. Keeping that front space.
And back on song. Jo Harton taken to the bench for that third spell after 5 or 6 minutes where she really just was off target and off colour. Medhurst finds Nurse on the circle edge. And suddenly it's pretty easy for the Aussies to split the defenders and get themselves into a good shooting position.
Nowhere to go. Forced into that pass.
Advantage obstructing goalkeeper.
Sea of yellow.
You are.
Patient stuff from the Australians. McMahon's nice and high. And great angles.
And sensational patience there. McMahon coming out, being the playmaker.
And they just cut them in half. And surprise, surprise, time called. And really, sudden death semi-final. This English side has really just a matter of minutes to stay alive in this Commonwealth Games tournament. You'd expect some bib shuffling.
Well, yeah, I'm baffled in terms of Mentor going off. McCloma, I thought she was not only effective at goal defence, but her attacking through the court. She was so often used on the line as a, you know, just to set things up again. So I'm not a coach at this level, but you can't let Australia pull away like they have in the last few minutes.
Well, the effectiveness of Mentor and McCloma as well, of getting into the heads of McMahon and Medhurst.
I guess it's also the setups that they were doing. They were forcing the ball over the big wide ones.
It's just perplexing. Sarah Bayman receiving attention to her hip. She's back on deck and back on court. Just over 10.5 minutes left to run in this one. Australia really starting to assert its dominance.
Oh, beautiful dodge. And it's that confidence from McMahon to keep the vision.
Stacey Francis left for dead. Greenway, risky angle. And Jo Harten, when she comes out of the circle, she needs to learn to front cut just to get in front of her defensive player, because at the moment when the ball swings,
she's running too flat. And there's defenders that can come out on the angle.
Australia holding the magic 5-goal buffer over England.
It's just crucial at this stage in a semi-final.
Strong lean McCloma. Could have been held ball, wasn't?
You have to say it has opened up in the attacking end for the Australian Diamonds.
Brilliant. Really nicely seen, Jo Harten.
Beautiful little pocket.
What can the England defenders do this time, Helenan? Man uses Umberto on the circle edge. And
how she sneaks through there, I do not know.
This time the Australians going the narrow channel, and that's what it was forcing.
And Guy starting to get onto that. Just needs to take one more step.
So 5 in it, 8.5 minutes left to run down on the clock. The world champions are really starting to fire. Man will take the throw in. And Lauren Nurse, who's been injected into this match fourth quarter, come on really strongly at wing attack.
And I guess coming into this Commonwealth Games campaign, I thought she may get the nod over Kimberly Green. But Plummer just showing the confidence she's got in her.
Patience from England. And you have to say it's almost inevitable that the calls will come against Laura Guyot. She's had an unhappy time from the umpires. Halfway through the final quarter now, 45 to 40. 7.5 minutes, a long time in netball, so still a chance for England. But the change in the defensive combination has meant that the Australian shooters are having an easy time of it. And that's not how you win a Commonwealth Games semi-final.
And for England, they'll be throwing everything into this last 7 minutes. This is what they've worked for. This is what they believe they can do.
And one of their best players, in fact, one of the best defenders in the world, in Jeeba Mentor, is sitting on the bench. Unbelievable.
I don't think anyone would have picked that, Reg.
Not in a million years, T. Harten now. Big ups to her. She's come back on and her eyes in.
She's a player of the future. She's only going to get better and better, Harten.
Nurse. Good exchanges. Nice. Just the beautiful narrow channels being used by the Australians. Pretty difficult to defend against.
Compared to, you know, in that first quarter especially, where it was wide, a big force to do the big hurls.
Suddenly nothing going the way of the English. And McCloma's pinged. Good hand to it, Stacey Francis. Turnover number 1, England. Can they do it?
Obstructing goal attack.
5 in it, 46 to 41, 5.5 minutes left.
Oh, and you know, you work so hard for these turnovers. And they're not going to have success if they
Fritter it away. Brilliant stuff from Helena, though. Great timing.
again sneaking along that base. Thrilling.
Brown's obstructing.
Harton running flat again, needs to come, angle herself, meet the ball.
Pamela Kuku, she's been an inspiration. McMahon so patient, they work it again. And McMahon this time almost plucks the ball out of thin air. Big step in and easy stuff, McMahon.
And interesting for Australia, 9 errors in that first half, 2 so far in the second half. So they've really tidied it up.
And clever stuff, Jade Clark. Didn't want to risk getting called for replay ball. Good patience and good ball speed. Pamela Kuku takes the ball by the horns. If this England side's to have a chance,
They need to pull something out of the bag right here, right now.
well, you don't see that very often. The big fat air ball from one of the world's best players, perhaps the world's best attacker.
Yeah, she is human.
England slowly but surely through court.
They've turned it over. Now all they've got to do is score from it.
So easy to say.
Yep.
Martin, a wide range shot. She gets marched in though. Geit's penalised. 1 back for England. High risk pass. Helenen was always going to get fingertips to it, but they'll get the throw in.
Big shot for Harton. Massive.
So much pressure from Gerard.
And Cookie says, I'll take that.
And she'll get that. So England still in it. Just under 2.5 minutes left for them. And 4 in it. They need a break.
And everybody working hard.
Bayman has a crack.
Face says it all.
Jade Clark dances offside, so a free pass inside. Medhurst will take it. They keep it simple. McCloma gets the hand to it.
So close.
Called for contact. And McMahon will be told to set the penalty in the correct place. She takes the big step in and offloads.
Yeah, they're not in any rush, so I don't mind the clock ticking.
England has 1.5 minutes. Just a sense that time is running out for them. They need to score rapidly, and that's...
And Bayman can't believe it.
It's a heartbreaker. It's exactly what England did not need. And I expect Australia to take all the time in the world. A minute left now. 4 in it, 49 to 45.
And simple stuff.
McMahon about to stretch it to 5. Big sigh of relief from Norma Plummer.
It looks a little bit red, doesn't she?
Her side will be the first to advance to the Commonwealth Games final. Easy stuff, Madeline Medhurst. What a class act this shooting combination is.
And going at 91%.
That'll seal the deal. This England side has fought and fought, but some extraordinary substitutions, particularly the last quarter benching of Jiva Mentor.
And there it
has
is.
cost them. And that is full time. The world champions, Australia, get a shot at gold. They won silver 4 years ago in Melbourne. And they've openly stated they want to be atop the podium this time round. They'll have their shot. Will they play New Zealand or Jamaica? We don't know yet. But in the end, Tanya Dalton, a really categoric display from the world champions.
You're right, and we saw them under pressure in that first half, you know, turnover balls that we're not used to seeing, getting pulled on defence, but they brought it in. They came out in that second half. They showed the class and the determination they can play with, and yeah, simply outstanding. Led by this lady there, Sherelle McMahon.
Hugs and smiles on the faces of the Australian Diamonds. And this rowdy gaggle of Aussie supporters show their support. Their team has pulled through and they will play in the Commonwealth Games final here in Delhi. For England, heartbreak and disappointment. They came to this tournament with gold streaks splashed across their dress.
Well, they came with the belief that they could play for gold here at the Commonwealth Games. It hasn't happened. They've put some sensational performances out on court, but just didn't have enough today.
So the call goes out, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
We've heard that a bit around this Commonwealth Games.
And meantime, heartbreak and tears, England.
And you can just see how hard this English side have worked for this game. The dream, playing in the final.
Brave performances all over the court from these English women, though. And Tanya, you just have to wonder, Jiva Mentor put on the bench in the last spell.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, look at what they did. Look at the destruction they caused in that first half. McClymont Mentor, arguably two of the best defenders in the world.
Smile on the dial and a double thumbs up from Sherelle McMahon. Absolutely no question the 33-year-old will want to lead her team all the way to the top of the podium here in Delhi.
It's the first time I've seen her smile today. She certainly had that race face on.
Well, they were under all sorts of pressure, were the Australians.
And you look at this English side, they pushed the Silver Ferns, they pushed Australia, but pretty much the stats say it all. You know, the shooting percentage is high, 91%. Turnovers, surprising, 11 to 9. And then the intercepts and deflections were pretty even. So the Aussies certainly ground their way through.
Well, it was even right throughout. It was 12 apiece at quarter time. 23 to 21, England led at half time. And then the Aussies just nudged in front at three-quarter time as we check out some of the game highlights now. And really, the Australians defensively, it was a defensive game through court.
It certainly was. And, you know, Geitz, I thought she was slow at the start, but was getting penalised. She got penalised a lot, but, you know, she came to the party. She started hunting. She mixed it up. She rattled Jo Harten in that third quarter, which I think was huge. It made a real impact on the game, and certainly sensational.
watch more magic from this amazing shooting combination. Natalie Medhurst and Sherelle McMahon, they're almost like clones. But in a game where you're so used to seeing tall timber under the post, it's refreshing and it's breathtaking to see such amazing mobility.
And the elation, yeah, on the faces.
The very first finalists been found here at Tiagaraj Stadium, and it is the world champions Australia. They've forged on ahead of the world number 3 England, and they'll face the winner of the second semi-final to be played here in Delhi between the defending champions Silver Ferns and the Sunshine Girls Jamaica. Well, congratulations. That was an amazing, fabulous last quarter that got you through. How tough out there?
Yeah, tough. I'm pretty buggered. So, you know, we probably didn't set ourselves up very well in the first half. We weren't using the ball. So to come back after half-time and, you know, really push it out and, yeah, come away with a good win was fantastic.
A combination between yourself and Sherelle McMahon, we've seen it all tournament. How much fun is it?
Yeah, I love it. It is fun, especially when we're playing well, and it became a bit more fun towards the end of that quarter, the last quarter. So it's great, you know, to play with someone like her. She has so much experience, and, you know, I just try and feed off and learn as much as I can off her, and yeah, it's working well so far.
You were a nose in front at three-quarter time, just the one in it. What was said?
I think we just needed to make sure that we gave the ball, and, you know, we made that change at three-quarter time.